let's talk about a real heavy hitter in the world of pain management, the diclofenac injection. When pain is severe and you need relief, like right now, this is one of the go-to tools in a doctor's kit. We're going to find out why.
So just picture it for a second. That sudden, overwhelming pain that just hits you out of nowhere. What do? More importantly, what do doctors do to fight it? Well, that's the exact scenario an injectable painkiller like diclofenac was made for.
I mean, look at this pain scale. When you're dealing with pain way up at the top end of that scale, we're talking that intense, can't think straight kind of pain. Waiting around for a pill to maybe kick in, that's just not going to cut it. This is where injectable pain relief becomes absolutely critical. It's fast and it's reliable. So here's what we're going to cover. First, what exactly is this stuff? Then we'll dive into the science of how it actually works. After that, we'll look at how it's used in a clinical setting. And finally, and this is super important, we'll go through the risks and all the precautions.
Okay, let's start with the absolute basics. What is this drug that doctors reach for when the pain is really bad? So, officially, diclofenac belongs to a big family of drugs called non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. You probably know them as NSAIDs. Now, the technical class is phenylacetic acid derivative, but what really matters for us is its job, to deliver powerful, fast pain relief through an injection. And what makes it so good at its job? Well, it comes down to these properties. It's a strong pain reliever, an analgesic. It's also a potent anti-inflammatory, so it tackles swelling. And the key here is its rapid onset of action. But, and this is a big one to remember, it is only meant for short-term use. And this is what you'll typically see. It usually comes in a small glass ampule with 75 milligrams of the drug in 3 milliliters of liquid. You might hear it called by brand names like Voltaren or Dynapar, but inside it's all the same active ingredient doing the work.
All right, let's get into the cool part, the science. How does this little ampule of liquid actually shut down pain signals inside your body? You can think of pain and inflammation as a chain reaction, or a series of dominoes falling inside your body. What diclofenac does is it steps in and acts like a roadblock. It blocks some key enzymes, which basically stops that chain reaction cold, cutting off the signals that scream pain and swell up to your brain.
Let's break that down into 3 really simple steps. First, you get an injury, and your body releases something called arachidonic acid. Step 2, a couple of enzymes, called COX-1 and COX-2, jump on that acid and turn it into prostaglandins. And these are the little molecules that cause all the trouble, the pain and the swelling. So here's the magic in step 3. Diclofenac comes in and blocks both of those COX enzymes. It shuts them down. No COX enzymes, no prostaglandins. No prostaglandins, way less pain. But, and you need to file this away for later, that COX-1 enzyme also does good things, like protecting your stomach lining. So blocking it is both the drug's biggest strength and its biggest weakness. So once it's injected, what's its journey like? Well, it gets to work almost immediately. It latches onto proteins in your blood to travel around. Then the liver breaks it down, and finally, your kidneys flush it out of your system. The whole trip is pretty quick and efficient.
Okay, so we've got the what and the how. Let's switch gears and talk about the practical side of things. When and how are doctors actually putting this drug to use? We're not talking about a minor headache here. This is for the heavy-duty stuff. It's used for that intense pain right after surgery, or for the absolutely excruciating pain from kidney stones. That's called renal colic. It's also for bad sprains or strains, severe trauma, and sometimes even for really severe menstrual pain when nothing else is working. Now, how do they actually give it to you? There are 2 main ways. The first is an intramuscular injection, or IM. That's a deep shot right into the big gluteal muscle to make sure it doesn't damage the tissue nearby. The other way is intravenous, or IV, but for that it has to be diluted and given slowly as an infusion to cut down on the risk of bad reactions. This is a number you absolutely need to remember, 150 milligrams. The standard dose is a single 75 milligram shot. If the pain is still really bad, you can get another one after about 12 hours. But you should never go over 150 milligrams total in one 24-hour period. And again, this is for short-term use only. All right, and now for maybe the most important part of our whole discussion. Like any drug this powerful, diclofenac isn't without its risks. We have to talk about the safety profile. So let's start with the more common things people might experience.
A little bit of pain where the shot was given is pretty normal. You might also feel some nausea or stomach upset, maybe a headache or a bit of dizziness. Generally, these are things that are manageable and not too serious.
But, and this is a big but, we have to talk about the more significant risks. This warning sign is here for a very good reason. Diclofenac is effective, for sure, but it also carries the potential for some really serious side effects, which is why doctors have to be so careful about who they give it to.
And here's the breakdown of those serious risks. See that first one, gastrointestinal? Remember how we said diclofenac blocks that protective COX-1 enzyme? Well, this is the consequence. By blocking it, you open the door to things like GI bleeding and stomach ulcers. The very thing that makes it work is also what makes it risky. Beyond that, it can be tough on the kidneys, potentially causing acute failure, it can damage the liver, and it can increase the risk of a heart attack or stroke, especially if it's used for too long.
So, who should absolutely, positively not get this injection? Well, anyone who currently has a stomach ulcer, for starters. Same goes for anyone with severe heart, kidney, or liver problems. If you know you have an allergy to other NSAIDs like aspirin or ibuprofen, it's a no-go. And it's also not for women in their third trimester of pregnancy because of the risks to the baby. And lastly, it doesn't always play well with others. If you mix it with blood thinners, the risk of bleeding just skyrockets. Take it with other NSAIDs or steroids, that's just asking for stomach trouble. And if you combine it with certain blood pressure meds like diuretics or ACE inhibitors, you could be looking at serious kidney problems. So, to wrap this all up, what have we learned? Diclofenac injection is without a doubt a fantastic tool. It's fast, it's powerful, and it can bring incredible relief when someone is in agony. But that power comes with a huge amount of responsibility. Using it is always a balancing act, a judgment call for the doctor. They're constantly weighing the immediate benefit of relieving pain against the very real, potentially serious risks. That's really the core question, isn't it? For this person, in this moment, does the benefit outweigh the risk?